Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're going to be working on some tubing for the front radiator support to get our fenders mounted up, and also got some header flanges in to start making some custom headers. Stay tuned. Alright, so here's one of the header flanges. I have the one bolted on the motor. They do slide on, but the holes are just a little bit snug to get them on and off, so I went ahead and got a drill bit, like just a hair over 3/8. I don't remember exactly what it was, but we're going to go ahead, oil up the drill bit here, put it in the drill press, and just remount these holes just a bit so they fit on there a little bit better. Here's the one mounted up on there. We're going with 2 1/4 this time instead of the 2 1/2 I started making with the one over on the floor there. And again, we're going to be making them to this design more or less, where they are like the gasser headers where they sweep up and down that body line. I just want to try and get them tucked in to where that V's up right in that groove there. As you can see, this one's a little bit off to the left too far, so that's the goal. I do not have collectors for 2 1/2, I don't believe so, or 2 1/4, sorry, but we'll figure something out to at least get us started and over that direction. Also did receive in the mail these rubber isolators from McMaster Car. They're individual on each one of those, so there's 8 of those. I don't like that, but it'll work for now. We'll just trim up these radiator support brackets, round off these corners when I take it back out when we go to paint the actual radiator support frame. But we'll do that after we get all of our brackets made on here, or tubing welded on, coming off, because that'll all be permanently welded on there, and then we should be good to go. We do need to fit up the fenders and get the grill and that kind of stuff, because there will be some other brackets. I don't want to paint it and then have to grind a bunch of paint back off. But let's continue working on this header flange, get prepared for when the pipe shows up today, and then we can maybe get some tubes bent up for these radiator support brackets. Alright, so it is a new day. I went ahead and went to my parents' house and bent up 2 of the 1 1/2 round tubing. As you can see up here, the passenger and driver side are both done. That is going to be the supports for the fenders, so that way we can build a little bracket off there and bolt down through that. We also went ahead and got the truck lifted up currently. We're going to go ahead and look over our shifter brackets here to figure out exactly which bracket we need to bolt up and which hardware, so we can get this bolted to the transmission and get the cable ran so we can get that all wrapped up. So let's go ahead and jump underneath the truck and put the bracket on. Left the tripod in between the arms on the hoist, so you went for a little spin there. Okay, so after messing with this for quite some time, I do have this in the correct position. I verified that, double checked to make sure that this was adjusted properly by moving this in certain positions and making sure there was play in this as instructed. The only thing I can't figure out is when I go to park, there is another tab position on the shifter, which I'll show you in a minute. Between park to pull it back, it only trips it halfway in between. I have to pull it an additional time to get it to the reverse position. Not sure what I'm doing wrong. I've tried looking at the manual several times, tried looking for anybody else that's installed it or had any issues like this. Maybe I'm missing something, but let's jump up top and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so now inside the truck here, I don't believe they put it back in park. Okay, so from this you can see here that this little mechanism here has got a ratcheting position. But if I pull this back from park, which I verified this is park all the way forward, if I pull it back one time, we go in the first notch here, but it is not in reverse on the transmission down there. I verified if I pull it back one additional time, that is actually reversed down there. So I'm not sure if there is a way to actually get rid of that position, because when I go backwards, I get the same thing. It didn't actually click, because if I go one more, that's actually parked. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. I would appreciate it if anybody does have any insight, let me know. Maybe by the time I get this video posted, I'll have it figured out. But yeah, that's the only issue I'm running into. So reverse, 2 poles, and then neutral, second, first. And it does not go any further. So first, second, neutral, you got your lockout, reverse, the double push, park. So now let me jump outside here and I'll show you those tubes that I mentioned that we welded onto the front radiator support for the fenders. Alright, so here's a better look at the fender support bars. Again, just need to add tabs coming off of this. I went ahead and welded these on there. I had to bump these back because on a factory radiator support on the Ford truck, this, on the actual radiator support itself, angles in because the radiator is actually offset from it. So I went ahead and bumped those both back to try and make them look like they curved back and went straight across. And then I left them down slightly from the fender. I mean, this still has play, needs moved around, but then I can just bring a tab off the front side and underneath, maybe tack a nut if I need to or whatever to the bottom side to make it easier. But yeah, it's coming along nicely. The only thing I'd like to do is maybe make some brackets and put some type of a catch can, maybe mount it off of this one or possibly even lower down here. But either way, we got plenty of options now with having this mounted in there. Fan brackets and all that stuff are on. I didn't actually try them. The install, probably did that wrong as well. Maybe I'm just doing all kinds of stuff wrong, but pictures didn't really match up with the radiator shroud that they gave me, and I don't know any clue what all that crap's for, but I don't know. It's on there. It'll work. It's unfortunate that for the amount of money I paid, I guess the instructions weren't very clear, and maybe I'm just not understanding them. So now I need to find some collectors and a few other items, but we'll find some stuff to keep working on this truck until those items show up as well. Alright, so we're back inside the truck here, and as you can see, we've got the cover, the sticker, the pointer, and everything on. And it is a new day. Had my dad come over. I actually read through the directions this time, and if you read clearly right there, it says if you only ratchet once out of reverse, you will not be fully in park gear. So to get this from park to reverse, in case anybody else has this issue, or maybe is having the issue I am, there's reverse now. So neutral, second, first gear. So then you got your ratchet for that. Back to neutral, lockout, reverse, and double ratchet to park. So that takes care of that. So if anybody else, if you have any of those transmissions listed there, basically power glides, turbo 350, 400, everything, there you go. So as you've seen in those last clips, we went ahead and got these pieces cut, also with the little shim plate, or the stand I should say. Went ahead and welded that across the tube and just tacked the top plate. So this is this little stand here, across the front, and then that plate. Drilled the holes in there and got that all made up. So now we're gonna go ahead and make up the one for the driver's side over there, and also some tabs off down here to the grill support for the lower grill, and possibly even make something coming across the front here on both sides. Still need to figure out maybe a piece of angline or something here, but that can be for later. We'll get the main support done so that way the grille and fenders can be supported. Okay, so that's going to be a wrap on today's video. Appreciate you hanging in there with us. As you did see, we were able to get both of the mounts. They do need some final welding on them when we take this back off. Also did get some tabs in here for the lower grill mounts. Did not do any mounts at this point up across here. May possibly do those as well. But again, same thing over here. Got this tab in here welded. Just need to weld the bottom side and the tab down there. I do have for the vent on the valve cover a couple of these catch cans here. I'm going to go ahead and take one of these, and one of these is going to get mounted, I don't remember for sure, I believe somewhere in here, and then we have a coolant overflow tank that is going to be mounted here, so that way we can get this finalized, and I will have a plate made that will basically come down over, and then the coolant tank is larger, so it'll be a larger section of the plate, but we'll make it all in one piece for that, and that should wrap everything up. I do have a lot of work to do on the truck yet, but at this point we're plugging away good. The whole front clip is mounted, which is a huge milestone for us. There's a few things to finalize, like the latch bracket and stuff like that, but that can all be finalized later. The main part is there, welded up, just finalize that. So stick with us. We're going to continue to work on this, and maybe in the next video or something to change things up. Maybe we'll get the Mustang out or something and do some ripping in that thing and clean it up. But we appreciate it. Like, comment, share, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and we'll see you guys in the next video.